I absolutely love this time of the year. It's really cold outside, but we have got a wood burner in our lounge, and there is something about cooking something really warming and delicious on a cold day and eating it in front of the wood burner. Julie not so much. She is more of a sun type of girl, which is ironic because I'm the one who grew up in Sicily in the sun. Maybe that's why I got 20 odd years of sun, and every time we talk about sun, she's up for it. But it's times like these when I can probably justify making dishes like this, really warming, and they are also incredibly healthy. And of course, in my case also, I often make them vegetarian because we try to avoid to eat too much red meat. We do eat meat, but mostly we tend to stick to white meat like fish or chicken. Occasionally we will have obviously red meat, lamb, pork or beef, but we try to be careful with the meat intake. So I've decided to cook a Mediterranean winter chickpea soup. I'm preparing the ingredients for the first phase of my soffritto, which consists of a large onion, which I've chopped, also a couple of medium-sized carrots. I've done them in round pieces and I left the peel, of course. And I'm now chopping a very small red pepper and also a medium one. And I will complement my soffritto with 3 medium-sized cloves of garlic. I've just removed the peel as today it's not necessary, and I'll just give all of them a gentle crush using my knife. I'm going to use a fairly large cast iron pot. This is my favorite for these sort of dishes, as they hold the heat for a long time and you can cook them long and slow. But of course you can use any pot. Stainless steel is also very good. The temperature at the moment is just above medium, so I'll add all of my vegetables. You saw me adding a little oil. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but a little olive oil goes in, and I'll mix them together for about 7 or 8 minutes. I will place the lid on, little tip, as they will cook considerably faster. But I'll lower the temperature slightly so that it's on medium and they will not burn. Today I'm going to be cooking with chickpeas which I soaked overnight. They weighed 300 grams when they were dry, and they doubled in size and weight, so approximately 600 grams, which means you can use tinned chickpeas, but ensure that you get the right quantity, 600 grams if they're tinned. Little tip, if you're using dry chickpeas which you soak overnight, make sure that you fill your bowl with water, use tap water, and also I added a small teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. You can also use baking powder, and that is why my water is a little bit cloudy, and that will help soften up your chickpeas, and they will cook faster, but also they'll be more pleasant when you eat them. So I'm going to dispose of this water next. I'll give them a little rinse, and then they will be ready to go in once the vegetables are softened up. In the meantime, I'll continue with the other ingredients, and I'll start with my potatoes. I've got a couple of medium size here, and I've also given them a good scrub and kept the skin, as I often say, full of fibre, just like the carrots. And I'm slicing them in about 1.5 centimeter slices first, and then I'll go along and I'll make them into cubes, anything between 1 to 1.5 centimeter. Cherry tomatoes, plum tomatoes, big tomatoes, or even tin tomatoes, it doesn't matter as long as they are tomatoes. I've got here 400 grams of fresh cherry tomatoes today, so I'm using those, but I am chopping them in half. Some people do not chop them, by the way, they just leave them whole and throw them in even quicker. But I think that for the sake of an additional 30 seconds, that actually will make the soup considerably tastier, as they will be releasing more flavor. This is a very small handful of chard and spinach combined from our garden. You can use any leafy greens you like, or you do not need to use it at all, but as I like to ensure that these sort of meals are rich in fiber, I think it's a great idea. But also, besides the taste, they will also add a beautiful color. You can see what I'm doing. I'm piling all of my chopped vegetables for the second round together, as they will be going in together. This is a couple of celery sticks, including the leaves. They come from our garden. If you buy from the supermarket, it's less likely that you've got the leaves. It doesn't really matter. I'm cooking them because I've got them. This is a sprig of rosemary, and I'll leave it as it is. And a couple of bay leaves, which I also just picked from the garden. Another great advantage of recipes like this is that you can just throw everything together and then you can forget about it. So my vegetables have softened up, and I will add the chickpeas first. And as they are cold, I'm going to add half a glass of cold water first. This will avoid them splitting, by the way. Do not add hot water at this stage. So I'll turn the temperature up until the water that I've added starts boiling. And now that everything is boiling, I'll start adding all of my chopped vegetables, and in no particular order. This is wonderful. I've got a pot full of beautiful autumn and winter colors. So I'll find the lid, I'll put it back on, and I'll wait until the vegetables have shrunk a little, and then I will be able to see how much water I can add. Some people put water in now, but I always think that because you've got so much going on, and if you look, you'll know this will be going down, you could potentially put too much water in. So I prefer to wait a little while, and then I can establish it better. So I'll see in about 5 minutes. Okay, let's move on to some of the spices so that we can draw out all of the flavor from the chickpeas, as well as making it a truly Mediterranean dish. This is cumin, and I'm going to add a small teaspoon, just like this. Be careful with cumin, although it's ideal with chickpeas, can be really overpowering. Whereas with paprika, I'm going to feel a little bit more generous, and I'm going to put a full heaped teaspoon. This is smoked paprika, by the way, but you can use any type of paprika. Sweet paprika also goes really well. And a little pinch of, this is oregano. Not a lot, as a bit like cumin, can be a little bit overpowering, but it will definitely provide that Mediterranean flavor I'm looking for. And I'm gonna get the hot water now. So let's press this down, and I've boiled my kettle, and I'm comfortable that as everything is really hot, the chickpeas will not split. And I'll start adding water until I reach the top of all of my vegetables, and you can see that it's boiling immediately because the water is hot already. And I'm gonna go about an inch, couple of centimeters or so above the top of my potatoes, like this. And the smell of the herbs is already coming through immediately, literally. This is salt. I'll add it now, and then I can forget, and I'll do the same with some pepper. The amount of herbs you put in is entirely up to you, and is very subjective, but if you stick to those measurements based on 600 grams of soaked or tinned chickpeas, you will find that it's a perfect balance. So I'll place the lid on, I'll turn the temperature down on medium, and I will leave it. I will not touch it for the next hour and 15 minutes. I want to make sure that the chickpeas cook properly, but also by keeping the lid on and not touching it, everything will really infuse itself, and then we can take a look. See you in an hour and 15. Ciao, ciao for now.
Synchronize.
Exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes have passed, and Julie has decided to join me. She's just back from an exercise class. Okay, absolutely, the smell is unbelievable. When Julia and Mum walked in, they didn't know what to make of it. They thought, what do you think it was?
I don't know. Mum could identify the celery really quickly, and I just could smell something a little bit sort of spicy, almost a little bit currified.
It's incredibly rustic, the smell, but the Mediterranean flavor are definitely in the air. I'm removing the zest, just the yellow part, from a lemon, and I would advise that potato peelers are ideal for that, by the way. Really, really clever. And I'll mix it in, and the same lemon, I'm going to just half it, and I will be squeezing in just half in the whole thing. You can put more if you like, or you can put none, but I would not put more because it can be, again, very overpowering, but it will definitely make it a big difference in terms of flavor. And I'll mix it all together. And this is nearly ready. What you can do, you can add some olive oil now if you like, but bearing in mind that I've made a lot more than what we need, I will be serving it, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But I will be adding a little oil and a little parsley in a moment. But I'll leave the lemon to just do a little bit of infusion. Here is my bay leaf. I'll remove that. And also remove my rosemary, as it can be a bit unpleasant, a little bit woody now. I'm going to make a portion because I will want to take a picture, but I want to be honest with you. We will be going out in a little while. It's another bay leaf. And we will be eating this when we come back from Norwich. We're going to the pictures to watch something. I'm not sure exactly what, but really looking forward to coming back because it's going to be really cold. This is going to be a home waiting for us. So the ideal way to do it, a little olive oil at the end. You have seen me doing this very often with my recipes, always critical because it releases renewed fresh flavor. And I mentioned some parsley, and again, this is parsley I keep in the freezer, but I'll just sprinkle some. And it's just as good as fresh parsley, and again, because it's fresh and has not been cooked.
But look at the box it's in. If he turns it round, it says chocolate ice cream. So I got all excited the other day when I saw that. I thought, yay! And then I found parsley.
When you hear the word chocolate. Okay, I'll take a picture and then I'll taste it. Magic moment, as I often call it. I'll just try some chickpeas and a little carrot so that I can tell you what it's like. But it's going to be really hot. Oh my god, it's genuinely delicious to die for. The lemon zest that I've added at the end, it's just exploding in flavors, and the beautiful flavors of everything else is really, really balanced. It's amazing because you saw me making it. It looks kind of complicated, but it's that simple. You just throw everything together, and it doesn't take a lot to cook it. Obviously, it needs to cook long and slow for 1 hour and 15 minutes, but the chickpeas are lovely and tender, and the flavors of the parsley is there, and it's absolutely wonderful. Really looking forward to coming back home later. Thank you for watching. If you like my channel, subscribe. Honestly, it's full of things like this, and also Sicilian dishes, and you will love it if you love Mediterranean food. Arrivederci, grazie, and buon appetito as always.